Ave Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark. A leper came to him and kneeling down begged him and said, "If you wish, you can make me clean." Moved with pity, he stretched out his hand, touched the leper, and said to him, "I do will it, be made clean." The leprosy left him immediately, and he was made clean. Then, warning him sternly, he dismissed him at once. Then he said to him, "See that you tell no one anything, but go, show yourself to the priest and offer for your cleansing what Moses prescribed. That will be proof for them." The man went away and began to publicize the whole matter. He spread the report abroad so that it was impossible for Jesus to enter a town openly. He remained outside in deserted places, and people kept coming to him from everywhere. The Gospel of the Lord. If today you hear his voice, harden not your hearts. Hebrews speaks to us today of something worse than leprosy, hardened hearts. Hebrews is quoting Psalm 95 that we also heard today, which tells the story of the Israelites being freed from slavery in Egypt. They had been freed after 400 years. Yet when difficult times happen in the desert, they taunt God. They put God to the test. And the Navarre Bible is written, quote, "They demand more proof than necessary that God is steadfast in his will and continues to protect his chosen people." St. John Chrysostom comments, "God should not be asked to account for his activities. If one asks him to prove his power, his providence, his solicitude, it is the same as not yet being fully convinced of his power and goodness and mercy." We need to be very vigilant so that our hearts do not become hardened against God. When difficult challenges and crosses come our way, it is understandable that we may momentarily be upset and blame God. "Lord, how can this be? How can you let this happen?" But be very careful. We can easily allow that to harden our hearts so that we no longer hear God. We no longer see him working in our midst. We need to be aware that we don't demand God to prove himself. The Father sees things we cannot see and understands in ways we cannot understand. We can easily become angry at God when we don't get our own way, when we feel that he is not listening to us. But as a community, a country, a church, have we been listening to him? We have not only broken many of his commandments, but we have insisted that God didn't mean them. Many have profited off breaking the commandments. Many of our youth are in bondage and lost because we adults did not protect them as a society. Many of the poor in our cities cry out in their poverty because they have been duped by policies that do not work, that don't help them. Many of our unborn have been discriminated against and not allowed to be born for the sake of billions of dollars and false interpretation and distortion of pro-choice. Many have been brainwashed in a broken-down educational system that hides the truth and teaches lies, fostering disunity. And there are many, many more examples of our society's disobedience to God. And we get angry at God and have hardened hearts. How angry must God be? He has given us everything out of his love. He must be angry. Yet look at the mercy he continues to pour down upon us. The gates of heaven flood down torrents of his love and mercy. Our hearts would be healed and purified if we would just be open to them. Life in our church, our country, the world would be a very different experience if people would ask God to heal their hardened hearts. In the gospel, the leper begs before Jesus, "If you wish, you can make me clean." And then what beautiful words that we hear. "I do will it. Be made clean." In his mercy and love, Jesus desires something even greater than physical healing. He wants to heal our hearts, to cleanse us of any rebellion and lukewarmness that remains in our hardened hearts. All we need to do is simply say to Jesus, "If you wish, you can make me clean." And listen to him. Hear him say, "I do will it. Be made clean." We experience this most especially in the sacrament of confession. "Father, forgive me, for I have sinned," is like saying, "If you wish, you can make me clean. And I absolve you of your sins." Like Jesus saying, "I do will it. Be made clean." Finally, in Hebrews, we are taught how to keep our hearts free. Encourage one another daily while it is still today. Every day, we have opportunities and occasions to show acts of love and charity. We don't have to look very far. It's the people all around us. Reaching out to others with acts of kindness, lifting up their dignity and worth by treating them with respect, keeps the heart a living flame, a heart alive in Jesus Christ. May the Eucharistic heart of Jesus that we receive today, physically or by spiritual communion, heal us from our deepest wounds and lead us to love those most in need of God's mercy.
Regina Caeli, letare, alleluia, quiaque merum isti portare, alleluia, resurrectio